night. Had a couple of things that came up for me in A Course in Miracles that I thought were worth talking through, just for me, if for no one else. um, in Lesson 51, one of the lessons we're reviewing is, which one is it? I do not understand anything I see. And part of the reason for going through A Course in Miracles is for the experiences that come, that help you develop trust and faith in what is real. Hello, bring up anything you want in the chat, and I'll just talk about A Course in Miracles in the background. So, I do not understand anything I see. Why would it be a benefit to me, hey Tally, to not understand anything I see? Because if I know that I, as the false mind, as the ego, don't understand it, I also know that there's something greater here that does understand it for me. It's a dependence that I develop. And so I know that that something greater here that does understand it for me can be in charge and can guide me and can guide my perception of everything. So that just popped in for me. That is why you would not want to understand anything you see on your own terms. Hey, Rabbit! We're here again together, you and me and Tally. So I was just talking about I do not understand anything I see. And then I thought I would pop over to a paragraph in chapter 6. So I will find that. I think it's here. Yeah. It's chapter 6, I think. The chapter is called Lessons of Love. And Tally says, I just saw your live highlight about how we are the same, and I just left this comment. Oh, you bet you're going to send it. And Whiskers is back. Whiskers, are you still a guinea pig? Welcome back, Whiskers. So, in chapter 6, what I'm looking at is the first paragraph of section 3, the relinquishment of attack. And Wyatt says, hey Wyatt, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to be talking about A Course in Miracles, but you guys bring up anything you want in the chat, and I will pause when I notice or when I finish my thought. So it starts, as we have already emphasized, every idea begins in the mind of the thinker. In some spiritual traditions, they're going to direct you away from thinking that you're the thinker. In A Course in Miracles, they kind of lean into it. And either way works. Leaning into something temporarily or instructing you that you're not it. Both ways work. The good is whatever works, right? So this is one way of approaching it. Every idea begins in the mind of the thinker. Therefore, what extends from the mind is still in it. So what extends from my mind is still in it. If love is extending from my mind, I don't lose it. If from my false mind, fear is projecting, I don't lose it. If I'm projecting fear and I see something fearful out there, it's in my mind. I've kept it. Okay. Therefore, what extends from the mind is still in it. And from what it extends, it knows itself. So if love is extending from my right mind, the mind I share with you, my actual mind, that's how I know myself. That's how I recognize myself. And Whisker says, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Do I have to do this? That's on my fridge. I noticed somebody put 6, 7 with the magnets. Okay. From what it extends, it knows itself. So if I'm projecting fear out from my ego, from my false minds, Whisker says, yay. I'm going to know myself as the fearful one, as the separate one. And you, like me, you might be tired of trying to continue to exist as a separate one, as a cut-off one, as a fearful one, instead of one who knows that you're always loving as a being, not as a person, always loved and you're exactly the same as everyone you call else, and in all the best ways. You fit in, definitely you fit in to what you really are. So you might be tired of pretending you're the one, the fear projecting from the fearful false mind, and you might be ready to remember that you're actually the other. You're the love extending from the shared mind. Okay. The word knows is correct here because the Holy Spirit still holds knowledge safe in your mind through his impartial perception. So the Holy Spirit is in your mind, the Holy Spirit is in my mind, the Holy Spirit is in everyone's mind. And when we look at anyone, if we can remember that, that's the most important thing about anybody. And if you don't want to use the term Holy Spirit, you could say the energy of what is actual and most powerful and most beautiful. Okay? The energy of what is actual and most powerful and most beautiful is in that mind over there. And I can look past the body. A Course in Miracles encourages us to, and Whisker says, Holy Spirit with doves. Peace. That's right. So we look out to others to see what is in ourselves. And the most important thing that's in anyone is this energy of what is actual, what is beautiful, what connects us to our source, what connects us to our Creator. Okay, so the Holy Spirit still holds knowledge safe in your mind through his impartial perception. That's why not understanding anything is a good place to be, because the Holy Spirit, not my ego, has impartial perception. And I need to rely on that as a guide. My ego is not impartial, it's judgmental. And I learned that relying on that is painful. Life experience shows me that. Okay. By attacking nothing, he, now A Course in Miracles uses only he through the whole thing. So there's no differentiation. Everything's the same. If you identify as a she, that he does not exclude you. It's just a way of using language to make everything one. So it's not he versus she. It's just a convenient pronoun. That's the pronoun A Course in Miracles chose, right? But really, we're all the same. So by attacking nothing, the Holy Spirit presents no barrier to the communication of God. So the Holy Spirit is in everyone's mind. So in everyone's mind, there's something very beautiful that attacks nothing. And even if you're looking at a person who seems to be attacking physically or verbally or with the daggers in their eyes, right? Not even saying a word or doing an action except a look on their face. Still, the Holy Spirit is in the mind of that one. The Holy Spirit has impartial perception. And by looking and remembering what's in the mind of everything, of everyone, we activate that. We choose to see and experience it, and so we begin to experience that through everyone because it is our choice. And in that sense, we do control each other, but in the very best of ways. When I tune into what is harmonic in you, I experience harmony. I kind of get what I ask for. Never use get what you ask for in a blaming sense, though, because we've been very confused and delivering hurtful experiences to ourselves in our confusion, and that's not your fault. It becomes our responsibility as we learn and unlearn, but it's never your fault, so never blame yourself for anything. And Tally says, I don't know if you saw what I had said. I didn't, but it's just funny. You keep talking about how we're all the same, and I just made a post last night, this morning, saying we are exactly the same, we are one. Yeah, that was pretty much that song I heard. It's really being drummed into my mind, so thank you for reinforcing it. Synchronicity. You start to hear it from everywhere, right? The part of us that's in communication with God, or with what's real, if you don't want to use God, it communicates. We communicate with each other, kind of on that frequency, on that channel. Okay. By attacking nothing, he presents no barrier to the communication of God. Therefore, being is never threatened. And A Course in Miracles starts with, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Isn't that beautiful? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. You are what's real, always, and you cannot be threatened. So your beingness is what you are. Everyone's beingness is what they are. The best live video ever in my life. That is why I am subscribed. Thanks, Whiskers. I've enjoyed myself here with you, so thanks for being here. So being is never threatened. We're all the same. Being is in all of us. And as we learn to calm down and focus, and I've been saying so much, usually a metaphor does not stick around this long, but Care Bear Stare is sticking around for me. We learn to Care Bear Stare toward the Holy Spirit in everyone, everything you would call separate. You remember the true nature of it. You remember what can't be threatened in anyone or anything, and that is your happiness. Your happiness is the relief of remembering what we truly are, not what all the persons seem to be up to. That's a whole lot of nonsense we've been playing with, and we all learn together how to stop playing with nonsense, or how it says in the Bible, I think you stop playing with children's toys. Okay, where are we? Oh, I think I turned the page. Oh, I did. Oh, I turned the page the other way. Okay, give me a minute. Alright. Being is never threatened. Your godlike mind can never be defiled. Care Bear, Whiskers likes the Care Bear. Your godlike mind can never be defiled. So, what is most true about you eternally? Your godlike mind. Why? Because if we're going to use God words, God created you, and you're forever a part of God. And God gifted you with his mind. You're part of God's mind. You're a thought in the mind of God. And that can't change. If you need non-God language, it's like I'm being bilingual. You're forever a part of what you actually came from. And what you actually came from is goodness without opposite. And nothing can change that. Do whatever you want as a person. See other persons however you want to see them. You still can't change that your essential nature, no matter how you try to defy your essential nature, is goodness without opposite. And Whiskers has emojis that I don't understand, or symbols. So if you want to explain to me, like my kids explain things to me, Mom, that's a such and such. I don't know what that is, but you can tell me if you want. And Rabbit says source. Yes, our source. We can't change our source, and we can't change that we all share the same source, the same parent, if you want to look at it that way. So your godlike mind can never be defiled. The mind, the true mind, Whisker says the Bible is the best book ever made. Whiskers, I don't know much about the Bible, but even though my parents took me to church at various times, but I enjoy hearing about it from people who love it. So, just so you know, if you ever want to share it with me, that seems to be, so far, my guidance on how to appreciate it is just to hear about it from others. For some reason, I'm not guided to read it, and I totally trust that, because that guidance comes from a pretty solid place, or expansive place, really. But I just love hearing people talk about it when they love it. So there we go. Tally says Whiskers was giving 3 smiley faces. I saw that, and then there was something before it that I didn't understand. And sometimes when things are put in a row, they mean something that I don't know. Oh yeah, Whiskers, not whiskered. And Oh, Radiant Love. If I can say your real name oh, my sound is low. I don't know. I just have to be louder. I don't know how to turn this volume up. It's not to do anything, is it? If you have technical advice on, I'll move it a little closer. Sorry. I have a very cheap tripod. Okay, yes. Hey, Jamuna. I didn't know whether or not I should use your real name. Thanks for coming. I'm just looking at chapter 6. Let me know if you know technically what I can do. All right. Your godlike mind can never be defiled. The ego never was and never will be part of it. So as much trouble as my ego seems to, oh yeah, I do have a microphone, but it plugs into my computer, and I think I have to use my phone to do lives. Yeah, Whiskers, what do I do? I guess, do I need to buy something? I need to buy a microphone that I can use with my phone. Any and all advice is welcome. and explanations of Whiskers symbols. Bye, Rabbit. Thanks for coming. Okay. I'm looking at the sun. The ego never was and never will be part of it, part of the godlike mind. So as much trouble as I seem to cause myself by believing thoughts from ego and looking at others and believing their egos for a little while, oh, maybe a headset would help. Oh, you know what? Next time, if I wear my earbuds, there's a microphone in that. So, no, I think I could try that. The next time I could wear my earbuds. I'm going to try to remember to do that, but feel free to remind me if I forget. So the ego never was and never will be part of our godlike mind, the mind that we share. So no matter what we seem to get up to during the day, no matter what we seem to experience, here's our godlike mind, which we share, undefiled. It's just here waiting for us. And we learn, oh, rabbit's not leaving. Okay. Because aloha is hello and goodbye. Okay, anyhow. You have taught yourself to believe that you are not what you are. And so whenever I'm upset about anything or uncomfortable or tense, it's just like I fell for it again. Thanks for the hearts. I'm believing that I am what I am not. At least it's always very simple. Or I'm looking at you and I'm believing that you are what you are not. I'm believing you're this false mind, this separate cut off thing with certain characteristics rather than the same in your essential nature as everyone and everything else. Non-threatening, real, goodness without opposite. That's okay. That's what a day is for. We slip up, we forget, but that's why we stop to remind ourselves. We stop to remind ourselves. We're all the same. Everything's okay. Anything I need to say or do will occur to me. And it's okay. It takes years, in my case, it takes years and years to learn that and to really settle into that and to trust it. Maybe it won't take years in your case, but whatever we learn and unlearn during that time is such a gift. And Whisker says, is it day for you because it looks very light? This is my basement, and so it's dark. And so I put on a lot of lamps to make sure that it would be bright enough in here. It's nighttime for me. I'm Eastern time, so what time is it? It's 10:17. Yeah. So I guess I turned enough lights on. Let's see, where are we? Okay. But through the ego, you can hear and teach and learn what is not true. So when I don't feel good, when I don't feel at peace, I've been hearing through the ego what is not true. I've been teaching through the ego what is not true. I've been learning through the ego what is not true. When I'm tense and stressed, notice the pattern. It's all me. It's all me caused. And Whisker says it's 10:18. Okay, so we're in the same time zone. You have taught yourself to believe that you are not what you are. Did I already say that? It's worth saying again. I forget what I am. It's like a case of amnesia. So you know when you're upset, you have forgotten who you are and who everyone else is again. And Rabbit says, I think it takes practice because the world is insane. Yes. And we've been trying to function insanity our whole lives. Yeah. Function in probably insanity our whole lives. And Whisker says, I don't know. I don't know is a good place to be. Because and then we can be told, yeah, function in it, right? And it's insanity. And the thing is, I made it up. So one of my favorite things in A Course in Miracles, whatever I'm looking at, is I have done this thing, not someone else has done this thing, or I was born into this thing. I have done this thing, and it is this I will undo. And I can revisit that idea many times. I have done this thing, would, and it is this thing I would undo. Tally says the insanity of the world is a reflection of the ego insanity. Yeah, say the same thing. We made up and cling to, yeah, we think it's safety, we think it's satisfaction, we think it's pleasure, and we learn that pleasure is actually pain. You know, we start to learn that. And Jamuna says, well, the ego does not me. Am I reading that wrong? Does not me. Is not me, maybe? Correct me if I'm just not getting it, but if I interpret it right, that it is not you. Yes, it's not me, it's not you, it's not anyone. Rabbit says, true. We make believe the ego is just all imagination, gameplay that isn't even happening. Yeah, never even happened and is already over. And Whisker says, laughs from dolphins. I wonder how that would sound. Excuse me if that was painful for you. And Radiant Love, or Jamuna says, look above. Oh, did I? Okay. What I was saying is that I never get upset. Oh, but it is sarcasm. Did I miss one of your comments? I might have missed something. But yes, sarcasm. I get upset throughout the day. It's usually fearful, uncertainty, doubt. But the thing is, all of that is like a little veil over intense fury and rage. And it's funny because if you had taught yourself to think of yourself as like, I'm a rather mild-mannered person, I don't get angry I get angry a lot less than the next guy in general. And then you realize that every manifestation of fear that you experience is intense rage. Like, oh, that's a revelation. Okay, so each one I need to stop and address. Okay, and Whisker says perfect. And Tally, there is that symbol before your emojis, and I can't figure out what it is. What am I looking at? It looks like, I don't know what it is. Tell me what it is. And Tally says, LMAO, I love that you just made dolphin sounds. Was that even a dolphin sound? Like, am I remembering that right? And Whisker says, yes. It was a perfect dolphin laugh. Thanks, everybody. See, there's that white thing again before your happy face, Tally. What is it? And Rabbit says, I thought it was the opposite, that rage masks fear. I don't know. It's all fear. If you want to look something up for me and tell me, my current understanding is it's all fear. If it's irritation, if it's boredom, fatigue, physical pain, it's all fear. But when I feel like just a little something, like a mild irritation or any manifestation of fear, it's actually rage, like rage at God, like determining, like I'm making my own world. I don't care if you said it's not possible. I'm lending story to this, so you're gonna have to throw away the story because we eventually throw away all story. But I'm making my own world and my own rules, and I'm going to do what you can't do. Well, the Son of God, or the child of God, the eternal child of God, cannot die. So in my insanity, I made up a world where I could, and where if I identify as ego, if you really get down to the root of ego, ego wants everyone dead. And it took me years to start to feel into this and see it. Ego wants the death of everything. Ego thinks death is triumph or relief, when really death is an impossibility. So that's my understanding of it so far. And I've had moments where I get into like, oh, I see how egos, they're just a death worship. And if I've mentioned this earlier, if you looked out at like the Epstein stuff and the death worship type of stuff, it's just a reflection, like that's ego, that's how dark it is. We don't have to be scared of it because it doesn't exist and fear doesn't exist, but it's like we got ourselves involved in our own cult, and we're fear worshiping, we're death worshiping. So every time I catch myself like engaging in the cult-like mechanisms, I stop and reorient. Okay. No, I'm seeing something before your I see the laughing face, but there's this white thing before it, and it almost looks like a percentage sign, but maybe with triangles. I don't know what it is, but I keep seeing it in the chat, and I'm letting it drive me crazy. That's ego. And Whisker says, you're welcome. Rabbit says, okay, makes sense. Whisker says, what are you reading about the Bible? I'm not reading anything about the Bible. I just never feel sent to it. I never feel sent to the Bible to read it. But I enjoy hearing people talk about it. And there are certain parts of it that I just light up whenever I hear it. Like the lilies of the field. I was like, yes, that's it. Like this thing in me that I always knew and I never forgot. They're talking about that thing. They talk about the lilies of the field. And there are a few other places, you know, when I hear about it, I'm just like, yes. And then I have no interest in it other than that. But if somebody loves the Bible and is talking about it to me, then I'm interested. So that's just been my experience so far. And Jamuna says, yep, ego is a death wish. Crazy. We're crazy. But our godlike mind, which can never be defiled, is not crazy. So let's see the rest of it. We're almost done with this paragraph. You cannot teach what you have not learned, and what you teach, you strengthen in yourself because you are sharing it. Every lesson you teach, you are learning. I'm going to back up one sentence before that. You have taught yourself to believe that you are not what you are. You cannot teach what you have not learned. I'm thinking, have we really learned that we're separate? Or since we've just imagined all of that, we haven't taught it at all? Or am I going down a dead end here? But what we know, the Holy Spirit is the bridge to knowledge in us. And what's knowable is what's prior to time and space. Nothing of time and space is knowable because all of it's imagined. But what's prior to time and space is certain and knowable, and that's what we are together. And I think as we look toward that and remember that, we're teaching it. We're all teaching it. We're all learning it. We're sharing it. The things of the ego cannot be truly shared, although we look out there and we see them. You know, I guess we just project them all over the place, and we think we're sharing them. But what we're doing is we're separating off from each other. We're cutting ourselves off. But then when we remember we're all the same, now we're focusing on something real, on something truly shareable. Every lesson you teach, you are learning. So If I'm projecting fear out there and teaching about the ego, I'm enmeshing myself further in that trap. If I'm taking time to turn inward, which means turning toward you, turning toward what you really are, what I really am together, then I'm teaching a lesson that's actually shareable with our true beings. And Whisker says, I can get a Bible. Yeah, I think I have multiple of them in this house. Just always kind of hit me. And Jamuna says, there is no guilt. That's right. There is no guilt. There seems to be guilt. There is no guilt. Always good to remember. Yeah, I have Bibles in the house, Whiskers. I just have no interest. And what I've learned is don't force yourself. Don't force yourself. If you have ideas about the Bible that feel disturbing, this would be the instructions I get from me, and I'm just repeating them. If you have ideas about the Bible that are disturbing, look at them and set them down and reorient. So I've done that whenever the ideas I have about the Bible are really silly. Like, and this is coming from someone who used to be an English teacher, so a big book doesn't scare me. But when it comes to the Bible, I'm like, too heavy, too big, pages too thin, words too small. No. So I've looked at those thoughts and I've set them down, and they don't seem to bother me, but I just don't feel sent there, so I don't force myself to go. And Tally says Bibles are a good opportunity to face ego lies and learn how to understand metaphors. Yeah, I do get biblical visions, and so I will go online and search to see what the connection is to the Bible, and it's always really funny. So I like the Bible in that sense. That's fun for me. I think in A Course in Miracles it says salvation becomes a game that happy children play, and to me that feels like a game. Like you had a biblical vision, go look it up, and that's fun. That's funny. And then Jamuna says, "Do you have a Quran?" I don't even know if I said that right. Right now it is Ramadan. I knew it was Ramadan. I don't have a Quran. And again, I don't care. I don't mean it in like a hostile way. I'm kind of marveling at it. Like, there are all these things I could read, and I just don't care. And I know at a certain point in my life, I was reading like Nisargadatta Maharaj, Krishnamurti, Ramana Maharshi, and like at that time, I just needed it. Like it was nutrients. I needed it. I needed it. And then now I just don't care. And I can't make myself care, but I figure if I'm supposed to go in that direction, someone's going to bring it to me. Someone's going to spark something, and the path will open up, and I'll just find it. And Rabbit says, I have a copy of a translation of the Bhagavad Gita. Did I say that right? And which I don't think I've read, maybe just little bits. And Jamuna says, just curious because ACIM is not about the Bible. It is about a universal curriculum. Yes, true. It uses what I think of as biblical language, Christian language. And that took me years to get over too. I loved the book. I stumbled over the Christian language because I had taught myself to think of Christianity as mean. Very simplistic. So that was helpful for me to have to get over the course just using he. I felt offended. And to have to get over, oh, it's using Christian language. And thank goodness, because those are two big areas where I had judgment. So that helped me. And Jamuna says, the Bhagavad Gita is sweet. That sounds nice. I'm sure people have read to me from it. And Whisker says, is that VR like virtual reality? Because that's a beautiful metaphor for what we have going on here. It's like we're in virtual reality and we don't know how to take the headset off. But like the Holy Spirit comes in and teaches us how to take the headset off and withdraw from virtual reality, or let the virtual reality become a very direct reflection of the beauty and truth and grace and love that we all are, and then take the headset off because you never needed it. And if, I don't know what it is, Vindaloop? Grounded Vindaloop? Vindaloop is in the episode title. If you like South Park, I think it's called Grounded Vindaloop. I can't remember what season it is, but if you look it up, Vindaloop is definitely one of them. It is such a funny metaphor when you think of what we have going on here with our virtual reality and looking at how virtual reality is represented um, in South Park. Okay, and Tally says, my foot got tickled when you said you look at it as a game confirmation. Yeah, when Tally gets tickled, it's like a yes. And going further with that, it's helpful to look at all of this something as a game. Yeah, definitely, because then we're not taking it so seriously, and it's always such a delight when we don't have to take it seriously. Whisker says, yes, it is. Oh, virtual reality. Oh, like a game. Yes, like a game. And Whisker says, I have one. You have like a headset or a VR. What do you call that? The goggles. So you literally have the goggles. Gorilla Tag. What's Gorilla Tag? Oh, Jesus in South Park. I love Jesus in South Park. What is he, the guidance counselor? I can't remember. But he definitely makes me laugh. Okay. Well, I should finish my laundry before I go to bed. A bee game? I'm not sure what that is. But I like the idea of we're playing a game and we're just being. Is that what you meant? Or maybe you could tell me. And Telly says, Yeshua has an amazing sense of humor. Nailed it! That's a frequent joke, a crucifixion joke. Me and Telly. Nailed it! I was just reading about the crucifixion today. It was very helpful. And Rabbit says, I just put my clothes in the dryer. We're doing laundry together. And Whisker says, okay, bye. I might be. You might be. To be or not to be. And Jamuna says, yes, Yeshua does have a great sense of humor indeed. Yeah. If there's anyone who can take a joke, it's Yeshua, Jesus, whatever we want to call him. Bro. All right, so I'm just going to wind down and rest in your presence to close this out. But while I'm doing that, you can join me, or you can put anything you want in the chat. What am I going to focus on as I wind down here? I'm going to focus on these thoughts do not mean anything. Rabbit says, good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. And I'm going to take a minute to focus on these thoughts. Whatever thoughts come up do not mean anything. Tally says, thank you for everything, Julie. I love you. Love you too, Tally. Love you, everybody. Jamuna says, hello. Hello, goodbye, hello. All right, here we go. Okay, your presence is beautiful indeed. Thank you for it. Okay, good night, everybody. And Whiskers loves resting time. I do too. it's it's fun. Okay, I'll see you when I see you. Sweet dreams.